Streams seem to be flowing in abundance behind you. Why don't you just give us the latest, any injuries, any incidences as well to report on?
Good afternoon to you, Arabile. Of course, I have to mention that according to the emergency services spokesperson, Robert Mudauzi, earlier on, he told me that there haven't been any major incidents across Gauteng, more especially when it comes to fatalities or injuries. But I can tell you that the extent of devastation here in Tembisa, Ivory Park, is quite huge, because you can basically see right next to this riverside river, as they call it, you can see that there was a building here. In fact, the stretch of this particular river here, you can see that there were some buildings now they are raised down, and this is because of the rains that have been persisting over the week, and we understand that people are trying to salvage what they can in order to have a roof on their heads overnight. So as you can see, some of the families, I can imagine, they're trying to pack up and leave the area because it's quite dangerous now. It's not safe for everyone living on the edge of this river here. And of course, you can see driving around here, we actually saw some homes vacated because of the danger that this particular river poses here. So others, as I said, Arabile, are trying to rebuild their lives, and of course, for the fear of media, I suppose they cannot speak to us, saying that their leader said that they should not speak to the media. But of course, speaking to us off camera, you could see a sense of loss, a sense of disappointment, a sense of devastation, more especially because they are helpless. And the same story from where we were earlier on in Alexandra Stretla, where a lot of people actually built right on the banks of Jacques River. We know the story of Jacques River in 2016 when 3-year-old Everite Chauke was swept away by the floods after her father lost her grip during those floods, and of course she eventually fell into the water and later found about 10 kilometers away from that area. So the people there as well living in fear, saying that the reason why we are here is simply because we've got nowhere to go. They are saying that the reason why they are there is simply because some of them have been kicked out of RDP houses, and they're also saying that there is a group that's been moving around Alexandra, kicking people out of their RDP houses, despite them having documentation or proof that they own those houses. But again, some saying that they've been waiting for proper housing rather, but ever since then, many saying since 1994, they have never really received any positive result from government officials. So that's a huge concern at this time of the year when there are floods around the country. But we will definitely be keeping a close watch here, Arabile, to try and see if there are any developments. But again, good news from the emergency services saying that there are no reports of fatalities or even injuries amid these floods.
Maageketla, thank you so much for that. Indeed, of course, interesting when it comes to noting just how much work will probably need to be done then when it comes to these rivers. And thankfully, there aren't any fatalities as yet, but we are indeed hopeful. And we hope that the weather, these rains are actually falling in the right places, because that is quite critical, having seen floods, of course, all across places like the Northern Cape and some parts of the Western Cape as well.